Hello, once again, this is Brother Teacher. A lot of times I talk about subjects, and more specifically martial arts right now, uh, without doing a demonstration because I believe that I'm talking to people that are able to comprehend what I'm saying just through conversation, per se. And some things don't always have to be done physically and visually for you to understand. They are oftentimes to get you to think and to use even your own mind and even your imagination in some instances and do the research for yourself. And even though I talk about martial arts subject matter and techniques and just martial arts in general, I'm not just talking to beginners. I'm talking to people who have been in the martial arts for a while. And with that said, those people who have been in the martial arts for a while should be able to better understand or comprehend what I'm saying and apply these things to your own teaching methods, as it were. But the question for today is, uh, are you able to use joint locks, manipulations, if you will, and even pressure points in an actual street fight? Pause for a second. What do you think? Can you use pressure points? And I do mean pressure points in a street fight. Can you put a person in an arm bar, a shoulder lock, a wrist lock, or even execute many jujitsu slash judo throws, ippon sanagi, ogoshi, tatoshi, and all of these different techniques? Can you do these things in an actual street fight? The immediate answer is yes. They can be done. So, but there's a method to doing them. And I want to get you to think for a moment. The method is simply this. First of all, you must understand something. This is very, very important, what I'm about to tell you. You must understand that in a confrontation in the street, you are dealing with another human being that can think just like you can. You must also understand that with that fact that they can think, they are not going to allow you to hit them if they can indeed avoid it. So they're going to be on the defensive side in the street fight. Very rarely do you see people just slugging another person without thinking that that person can't fight back unless they feel like that person is inferior to them and that they can dominate that person. But when you have two individuals that are of about equal stature and equal skill, and both partners know that, or both individuals know that, they're both are going to be leery of the other one in that altercation. And with that said, if the other person knows that you have the ability to strike them, do you think they're going to allow you to grab them and put them in a arm lock, or going to allow you to throw them, or allow you to put a pressure point on them or apply a pressure point? They're not going to do it. It looks good in a controlled environment when you have a partner who knows what you're going to do, or who knows you and have the confidence in you. You can do this in a controlled environment of self-defense when you're doing a seminar or a workshop and so forth. But understand, that's a controlled environment. In the street, it's anything goes. And that person standing on the other side of you is aware of this. They're going to try to hurt you and avoid being hurt themselves. So, a lot of pressure points, you have to be up close and personal to apply them. And in most street fights, the two combatants are at a distance, swinging and so forth. This is the common street fight, okay, where people are usually punching. Okay, they're at a distance. To engage that person to apply a pressure point, you have to get inside that space. And most people will not allow you to do that. So it's all based on timing. Some techniques have to be set up to allow you to apply a pressure point. For example, when a person throws a punch at you, you could block it or parry it, some say, but that's it. Where's the pressure point at? You have to practice as close to reality in your dojo, your dojang, your kwon, your training hall, wherever it is that you practice at. You have to practice as close as possible to reality with your students and your partner, whoever they may be. Make it seem as though it's real. Have a good working relationship with your partners in that situation. If you have to put on pads as part of your training, do so that you can have the real sense of combat and you can strike the person, maybe not with all of your power, but close to reality. That's one thing that you can implement in terms of striking. However, on the pressure points, there's some people you can't use pressure points against in a training environment because of their potential health that might be existing that you don't know about. Of course, you should screen your students and you should know if they have heart problems and various other issues health-wise. But as I said, for those people who are not in that situation, you make sure that you practice as close to reality these pressure points and these joint locks and these throws and so forth. Now, through hundreds of times of repetition, thousands of times of repetition, you will have built up timing. You will have built up muscle memory, so that translates in a street fight. When you're in a street fight and someone throws that same punch I mentioned a moment ago, when they throw that same punch, you can see more clearly to respond without thinking, and it would be more of a reflexive action based on all of that repetition that you have underwent before that incident or that confrontation. So, for example, I don't have a student here. I'm sitting in my office in my store right now, but I want to give you an example. If a person throws a punch at me, and this is my space right here, it's going to hit me in my face. This is called Pak Sao, slap block, okay? See if I can get in a good position. Pak Sao, slap block. These are my shoulder parameters. I don't want to block that way outside of my shoulder parameters. I wanted to move it from my center, which is where the punch is directed. Pak Sao. I slapped it out. You can practice this on your own. I have some videos of me doing this. So the punch is coming here. You want to move it from in front of you. That's the first technique. We do this in baby steps. You slap it away, and then you punch straight forward with Chung Choi, sun fist or vertical fist. So it's 1, 2. When you're learning it, 1, 2. The punch is coming here. Understanding is key. The punch is coming to the center. You move it out of the way, and then you punch at the same time. But when you're learning it, it's first step, second step. Now, if you do this all of the time, and you do it with the proper intention and the proper technique, it will work 99.9% of the time. So when you execute Pak Sao and the punch, that's called Pak Dar. They're done together. Pak Dar, Pak Sao and Chung Choi is here and here by the steps, here and here. And when you do it together, it's one movement. When your mind sees that same familiar punch that it does in class, in a street fight, you will execute that technique immediately without thinking. The Japanese call it Mushin Noshin, mind of no mind. You're not thinking about it. It just happens by itself. It's like when someone throws something and you blink all of a sudden, that's an automatic response. But in this particular response, this is a trained response from a martial arts standpoint. Pak Sao, Chung Choi, done together, Pak Dar, together. Someone throws a punch, it's here. So anytime you see that punch in a street fight, you automatically do the technique. Now, excuse the camera and the fading in and out because it's not used to me doing the movement, so forth. But I'm going to do it, and I'm going to close this video. So again, it's here is done together. And when you actually do it, real speak, it's done just like that. It's just like that. Okay, so it's fast. So when the punch comes fast, your mind picks up that information in a millisecond and you respond to it. Okay, so understand that this is true with pressure points as well. When someone grabs your wrist and you apply a wrist lock, they're not going to let you hold them. It happens just like that. From what? As a result of thousands and even hundreds of times of practice, repetition. So that is what ensures that we respond in the appropriate time. Now understand this before I leave. There's two types of timing in a street fight. There's the timing that it takes for you to perceive mentally that there's a threat. And then there's the timing that it takes for you to respond appropriately to that threat. Just those two. So once I perceive a threat, if a person is going to harm me or have the intention of harming me, once I perceive it, my mind says threat. And the next thing is whatever they're about to do to me, my mind picks the information up. Oh, they're throwing a punch. They're throwing a hook punch. They're about to grab me. All of those hundreds of techniques that I've done in my class repetitiously for so many years, my mind picks the right technique up for that particular situation, and I just simply respond without thinking. In a street fight, when someone is attacking you, you cannot think while they are attacking you. You must respond. And you must let it do it all by itself. This is Brother Teacher. If you have any questions concerning this subject, please leave it in the comment section below. And also remember this. I'm going to follow this video up with a demonstration of the same thing. Even though I already have one on my channel, I'm going to do it subsequent to this so that you can sort of find out exactly how these techniques are done. Okay, much love. So long.